1997, the year Jordan Brand began, which up until then, all of MJ's signature mainline sneaker releases were dropping directly through Nike. So this is pretty much my childhood right here. This is when I first got into the game of basketball. The marketing efforts were crazy. MJ, he was pretty much everywhere, plus the sneakers complemented his greatness. And with the birth of Jordan Brand, we also saw the birth of the Team Jordan, which nowadays, Team Jordans, they don't get as much love, a lot of slander. People call them Fugazis, off-brands, Mexican Mikes, whatever funny nickname you have for them. But there was a point in time where Team Jordans were getting rocked right alongside mainline Jordan releases, and you pretty much couldn't tell anybody anything. So with that being said, Complex recently did a ranking of the best Team Jordans of all time, which I haven't actually taken a look here at the list, but there is a particular pair which I'm curious to see where they rank. I mean, I know they got to make the list, but I just want to see exactly where these rank right here. So maybe we could call these like the best, worst Jordans of all time. What I could tell you is we're definitely going to see a lot of Unk vibes happening right here. So let's go ahead and check it out. Coming in at number 20, we got the Jordan 60 Plus, which this sneaker originally hit the streets back in 2009, which you got to think back 2009, I would say Team Jordans were still kind of valid, but these, I don't know. I mean, you do see the incorporation of the Laney 5s right here, but with the higher cut upper of these right here, this is kind of giving like, can I get a hug type of vibes. Coming in here at number 19, we got the Jumpman Team FBI, which it looks like these actually did grace the feet of MJ himself during his Wizards days, which I'm not even gonna lie, like, I don't even remember these, which they dropped originally back in 2003, which now that I look at them, I do kind of remember these right here, but being as that these were a Team Jordan, I kind of see why they didn't actually make the cut as a mainline Jordan release. Coming in here at number 18, we got the Jordan Light, which I ain't gonna lie, y'all, these joints look old right here. I have no recollection of these right here, but I would have to say these are definitely quite nasty with the big Jordan plastered right across the upper, giving real like generic type of vibes, but you have to love that old school Jordan Brand box, which obviously, yep, these joints dropped all the way back in 98, which they could definitely stay back there. Coming in at number 17, we got the Jordan Legacy 312, which I remember these. These are a recent drop right here, which they kind of give some vibes from some of the other like older kind of 80s, you know, Nike vibes, 2009. So this was during a time where Nike was still doing some mainline releases. Retros were starting to just come into the mix. We were coming off of those Jordan packs. So these ain't bad. You know, I like the incorporation of the elephant print right here. The colors definitely give off like 80s vibes with the pink, with the neon. So these were cool. I would say definitely a sign of the time. We do not need to see those return. Coming in here at number 16, we got the Jordan Super Freak, which, yeah, these are definitely looking real freaky right here. Low key, these look like some Dada spinner type of joints, bro. Like, if you were caught rocking these right here, we know you were definitely on some type of crazy time, which we originally saw these drop back in 2000. Definitely a sign of the times. Coming in at number 15, we got the Jordan Pure, which you guys see right here on the feet of Darius Miller. So that's a cool look right here. Y'all remember them boys right here? Young days playing for the Clippers. These dropped back in 2002. I don't really remember these too much, but you definitely do see some of the incorporation of some past retro elements, which is going to be a common theme as far as these Team Jordans. We're going to see a lot of design elements featured in some mainline releases, which did also gravitate towards some of these Team Jordans, which I guess you could call some of these like money grabs, dropping alongside the mainline releases. Next up here, we got at number 14, the Jumpman Team Masterpiece on the feet of Mike Bibby during his little short stint over in Vancouver. I have no recollection of these right here. The design isn't too bad. You guys got to think at this time we were getting probably like the 17, so you can definitely see some of the design elements incorporated here, which those that originally dropped back in 2000. Now coming in at number 13, we got the Jordan Camp 23 on the feet of Kendall Gill, which I don't even remember that boy playing for the Heat right here. That must have been towards like the end of his career, which you can't really see what's happening too much right here, but you got a split right down the middle, kind of giving like Scarface vibes, you know, with the white and black. Those are interesting. Can't really tell too much of what's happening right here, but they kind of remind me of some of the elements we saw from the Jordan 15. These originally dropped back in 2001. Coming in at number 12, we got the Jordan 17 23, which I'm guessing must be a fusion of all of those different Jordan models, which all kind of come together to create this Frankenstein hybrid type of model, which just like screams Mexican Mikes right here. So Yeah, if you were pulling up in 2011 rocking these, which this is around the time where we started to see Jordan Brand drop a lot more retro releases. So in 2011, even maybe 2010, that's around the time when people started to kind of get off, some of these Team Jordans, and we were just sticking to the mainline retro. So yeah, you definitely would have got clowned on these right here. But yeah, as you see right here, got that little back heel tab directly from the Jordan 6. Coming in at number 11, we got the Jumpman Vindicate, which, looking at these right off the first rip, I wanted to clown these, but with the Vindicate title, I'm guessing these must have been something that Vin Baker was rocking back in the day and underrated. I would call him NBA legend. I think he did run into some trouble, during his career. I was young back then, but yeah, we ain't gonna clown these. I don't know why, I just get a nostalgic, cool little feel from these right here, which these dropped back in 1999. Yup. I was trying to see, Vin Baker. Yeah, these are dope. We ain't getting no slander. Would I rock these nowadays? You know what? I probably would. These ain't too bad. Looks like got some little leather on the upper there. Coming in at number 10, we have the Jumpman Team Flow. And while I was kind of feeling them Vin joints, nah, these ain't it. We can see some of the elements incorporated from the Jordan 13. These originally dropped back in 2003. So if you were rocking these on feet, like, you weren't gonna get clowned or anything like that, but definitely a sign of the times, man. I don't remember these at all. I ain't even gonna lie, y'all. Coming in at number 9, we have the Jordan Big Fun, which we saw these drop in 2005, which I definitely remember people rocking these back in the day right here, which these were more of like the skater type of vibes, you know what I'm saying? Like, these were definitely some Team Jordans of the time, which, although they did drop back in 2005, a time when we weren't getting all of these mainline retro releases, but nah, these wasn't valid, y'all. Like, nah. I don't have nothing good to say about those. Coming in at number 8, we got the Jumpman Team Elite, which these originally dropped back in 2007. These are cool. You see some elements of the 16 incorporated here into this model. This is one that, like, say if you were playing like high school basketball back in those times, you were probably rocking a pair of these. As you guys see this dude from North Carolina rocking these. These ain't bad at all. Coming in at number 7, the Jumpman Pro Quick, which I definitely remember these joints. What year did these drop? 98. So yeah, this is when like Team Jordans was still like considered great. You know what I'm saying? These were when, Jordan Brand, they were filling out a roster of NBA talent. As you guys see, Eddie Jones right here. You had Mitch Richmond, plus countless others, which I can't really think of right off the top. So yeah, these were a dope pair right here. You can't really see too much from the image, but them Jumpman Pro Quicks, yeah, they were fire, man. And Eddie Jones, another NBA underrated legend before Kobe Bryant kind of took his place. You know what I'm saying? Back in the 90s. Coming in at number 6, the Jumpman Pro, which, yeah, these were valid. These dropped back in 97. Definitely remember these. Nothing too much bad to say about these. These were dope back in the day. You just had to be around. Coming in at number 5, the Jumpman Team J, which, I ain't gonna lie, these are definitely a sign of the time, which originally dropped back in 1999. So it says rocked by Ray Allen and Mike Bibby. Yeah, as far as the design elements, you can see the 16 infused into there, right? So these were all right. Coming in at number 4, the Jordan Future. Now with these, as you guys see, it's got the sole of the Jordan 11. When these dropped, what year was this, man? 2014. So this was a time when, say, like the Jordan 11 was probably at its peak popularity. This was coming off the Concords, the Breads, re-releases of the Cool Grays, Space Jams. And then we had these Jordan Futures, which you couldn't tell anybody nothing at the time. People were definitely getting these off. They dropped the bread colorway. They dropped a whole bunch of these Futures. I never personally owned a pair of these, but you know what I'm saying? I feel like they weren't bad back then, but I definitely didn't miss out on anything looking back at them now. Coming in here at number 3, we got the Jumpman Team 1. Salute to Eddie Jones once again. Now these are the joints. If I'm not mistaken, this was the very first pair of Team Jordans right here. So these are the ones which I was waiting on, which made the list at number 3. I mean, I feel like these are the best. This is my personal number 1, a shoe which I remember as a kid actually rocking, during my early years, first getting and playing organized basketball as a jit. Definitely a lot of memories of this shoe, which did come in that same silver box. These were coming off of the Jordan 12 right before the 13 release, so you can see some of those design elements. You see that little bubble from the 13. Yeah, man, these are dope. Nothing much bad to say about these, straight nostalgic vibes. And if I'm not mistaken, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but this was the very first pair of Team Jordans, which we saw hit the streets back in 97, man. That's my favorite. Jordan 6 rings at number 2, man. 6 rings, when these dropped back in 2008, these were valid. I know recently there was a lot of slander, some discussion of these were hot or not. These were definitely dope, but I was never on board with the 6 rings, and I never really even considered jumping on board with them joints. But, you know, as I always like to say, if you guys like them, I love them. And coming in at number 1 as the best, worst Jordan of all time, none other than the Dub Zero, which, you know what? 2005, I'm not mad at this pick at all, right? While I would have rather went with my pair personally, I would put these right behind these. And while I never owned a pair of Dub Zeros, this was a shoe which I always wanted to grab a pair. They dropped some dope colorways, the blue pair. This one was the very first pair inspired by the Chicago Bulls color. You had the little laser theme happening, which this was during the time when I guess you could say the Jordan 20 probably dropped. That's when we were getting a lot of this laser effects, which hit the 4s. Dub Zeros were super valid. You got the elements of the 4 incorporated in there all the way down to the air bubble. You got the heel from the 6, plus a lot more elements which I'm missing. But yeah, these were valid, man. Definitely a sign of the time. Nothing bad to say about Dub Zeros. Do they still drop those nowadays? I want to say Jordan Brand still drops these here and there, but I wonder when's the last time we actually saw this original OG Dub Zero drop. These definitely weren't bad, but would you catch me rocking a pair of Dub Zeros nowadays? Absolutely not. And when we take a look back here at all of the Team Jordans which dropped throughout the years, I'm kind of shocked that we didn't see the Spizikes make this list. I guess they didn't qualify, and I don't know why we didn't see any of these like hybrid Jordans which they were dropping with Air Force Ones, which I guess that wouldn't be considered a Team Jordan. But it's like, are the Dub Zeros considered a Team Jordan? You know what I'm saying? 6 rings? I don't really know, but when you talk about the list, a lot of nasty Frankenstein hybrids which we saw drop throughout the year. Some pairs which you may love, you may have some nostalgia for a lot of these pairs, but let's be real, like outside of like 2 or 3 of these joints, bro, like I wouldn't be caught dead rocking any of these nowadays. But that was kind of fun to take a look back, you know what I'm saying, at all of these releases. And as far as Complex, I feel like they didn't do too bad of a job of dropping these. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of Unk vibes right here. The best Team Jordans of all time, or as I like to say, the best worst Jordans of all time. Drop your feedback down below. JATV. Until next time, love.